Hello, hello. Oh, I'm live now. How is everyone doing? All right, welcome to yet another live session. Uh, Today I am going to talk about South Asian women and the networking dilemma. Such an important topic. And when it comes to networking, and when we talk about the South Asian context or an immigrant context, you could be from some other country. And when it comes to networking, it's very natural for a lot of us to shy away from it and just not know what to do because it's very different in our home country how we connect with people. So I'm gonna focus on that. So for those who don't know me, I'm Dr. Mrinalini Garg. I am the founder of Unshackled Career Women program. I created this program because as a South Asian woman, I faced a lot of challenges because there is not an understanding when it comes to the cultural aspect that we bring to the table. There is a lot of ignorance about it, and many times you get misunderstood for how we show up. So, for example, even though we have amazing qualifications, we are brilliant at what we do, we have great expertise, but because of how we show up, we don't just brag about ourselves, we don't just, go and assert. We are seen as meek and submissive and unambitious. So I started this program because I wanted to help South Asian women to really, shine in their career. uh, whether it's rising to the top, whether it is switching careers, whether it is just finding another job, whatever it is. um, I address all the aspects when it comes to the intersection of our culture and career success, because this is missing. This is missing, and it's so much needed because I see so many brilliant women staying stuck in positions much lower than what they deserve. So, this is why I started the Unshackled Career Women program. So, let's dive into our topic today, networking. As soon as you say networking, people start feeling, oh my God, I don't want to put myself out there. It's just too much. I don't know how to do small talk. I don't even like small talk. I feel like I'm not myself, and I just don't understand what exactly to do. So there are two parts, right, when it comes to networking. One is understanding the uh, the tactical aspect of networking, what to do, how to do, what to say. But another part is the deeper understanding of the purpose of networking, right? And the thing is that when we think of networking, the first thing that comes to mind is, you know going to a conference, right, and meeting people there and making those connections. It could be a company event where we want to go, we're going to meet people from other departments, leaders, and whatnot. There's also an important, very important aspect which most people ignore are the meetings, right? Meetings that you attend, um, meeting one-on-one, scheduling meetings one-on-one, because your existing company is your hidden job market, honestly. If you are able to really build those relationships, nurture those relationships, your prospects of growing in that company grow multiple fold. And if you love your company, if you love what you do, and just because you don't have that social capital, it just does not make sense to leave the company and go elsewhere. There are pros and cons of each of them. right? If you stay there, if you get promoted, you might not get as big of a pay raise, depending on what position, of course, you're applying for. But if you're going to that next level, and versus if you're applying for a new job in another company, there is going to be a difference in the paycheck, right? You will get paid a little more if you switch companies. But there's a big con for switching companies, because now you have to start from scratch, right? You have to establish yourself as a leader, and it's just a lot. But if you already know a culture in your existing company, you understand the systems, you know quite a bit of people there, maybe the benefits are great, whatever it is, um, why leave all of that and just switch jobs for that, right? Of course, if you uh, want to make a big financial jump, and you want to switch companies, great, do that. But it's also possible to negotiate, a huge increase in your salary in the same company as well. So in my mind, there are a lot more wins staying in the company, really advocating for yourself, building those connections, and keep growing in your career, because you're familiar with the system, you're familiar with the people, you are familiar with your routine and everything. um, so it's possible. I mean, of course, when I work with my clients, we look case by case and we figure out what makes the most sense. um, but whether you switch jobs or whether you stay in the same company, networking is key. If you're starting a new job in the company, if you're not establishing yourself as a leader, and the only way to do that is to connect with people, make them known that you are there, make them known what you do, what your aspirations are, what are the problems that keep the leaders up at night, understanding, having an understanding of that, and then uh, you know showing up as that problem solver makes a huge difference. Otherwise, you stay in the same, you continue in that same job and be in that same position for years. But if you are able to show up differently, from the very first day of your job, it's gonna make a huge difference. You will get ahead in your career faster, you will be seen as a leader faster. um, in the existing company, if you're looking to get to that next level, and if you don't have those connections, people don't see you as a leader, then that's a problem. And this is the biggest problem that I have seen working with immigrant women, and South Asian women, is that they are great at what they do. I mean, there's no question about it. There's no question about it. With immigrants, this is the one thing that I really love. They figure it out. They figure it out. If they don't understand a part of technology, they will stay up, all night, figure it out. They will talk with their friends. We are great at that. So when it comes to figuring out the technical part, we are solid. And yes, that's an important aspect of the job. But if you are looking to grow in your career, then just figuring out the technical stuff is not going to be enough. You really want to, in addition to that, you really want to build those connections, right? The problem with South Asian women when it comes to networking is that, the way we are raised, we are not really encouraged to go and make connections. You probably will resonate with my experience. When we had guests at home, I was the one helping my mom in the kitchen, right? I was making chai, I was bringing, poha, or whatever, right? That was my job. And one other thing that I saw in our family, and I know it used to happen in a lot of families, and things are changing now, right? but the first generation immigrants, this has been a common theme in most of our lives, is that the men would sit in a different room. Women would be in the kitchen mostly cooking and chatting and sharing recipes, and this happened and I bought this jewelry and I bought that sari. And then the men are sitting outside and they're talking about politics and finance and trends, trends in how things are going to go, how markets are going to get affected. I bought this car and that car, and this car has, this engine. So, completely different conversations happening, and there's no cross connection, there's no interaction. So most of the women, I'm talking about first generation immigrants, we really did not get that exposure, how to really interact with the outside world. Mostly men, right? How to connect, what to say, what not to say. And most of the men were treating us like we are this soft, delicate person. um, and our intelligence was not rewarded, right? Our skills were, the skills that we were rewarded for was, how do we cook, how do we study, um, how many chores we can do. So this cultural aspect, it's very important to understand, why we hesitate when it comes to networking. A lot of women feel like, oh, I'm not good enough, I have all these qualifications but I still feel I'm not good enough. So how can I connect with the senior leaders? What will I say? What will they think about me? How will they judge me? And we get lost in these loops which only cause confusion in our mind. And you know when we are confused, right, a confused mind cannot make decisions, right? So if there's an opportunity to speak up in the meeting, if we have all these loops going on in our mind, we are not going to speak up, even though inside we are screaming, oh my god, I want to share this idea. Or somebody shares an idea and you know how ridiculous it is, and you know that project is going to fail, and you want to speak up, but those confusion loops are going on in our brain, right? What will they think? What if my idea is not good enough? What if I share my perspective and actually their idea is actually great? What, that I don't want to make a fool of myself. If we have all these confusion loops going on, what's going to happen? We are not going to speak up, we are not going to share that idea. Or we see a great opportunity, right? A company event is there, and we see the CEO of the company is there, and they are approachable, and we have easy access to them. And then we are again in that confusion loop. Should I go? Should I talk? What should I talk about? What if I make a fool of myself? And then what happens? We don't go and connect, right? We don't go, and we have missed that opportunity to build that social capital. So a confused mind cannot make any decisions, and we stay stuck. um, so it's really important to understand why we hesitate when it comes to networking. There's nothing wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that our upbringing, the cultural context, the cultural norms, they have wired us very differently. So when it comes to speaking up, when it comes to just going and speaking with others and building relationships, it just does not come naturally to a lot of us. So um, the thing is that if you want to really thrive in your career, if you want to keep growing, if you're ambitious and you're committed to growth, then this is something that this is a skill that needs to be learned. right? It's a skill. It's not, not, it's not a gift, people are born with. It's understanding, why you want to connect with them, right? What can you give them? How can you support them, and how can they support you back? So, um, in our program, in my program, Unshackled Career Woman, which basically is, if you ask me what coaching is, really coaching is not so much about strategies, but coaching is about helping people get over their fear. It's not that you don't know what needs to be done. You know that you need to network. You know that you need to speak up. But there is something that is holding you back. And that fear is stopping you from shining your light bright, right? And my job as a coach is to help you understand, where those limiting beliefs are coming from, where is that fear coming from, and then how to get over those fears, and give you some strategies that are easy to implement, that are bite size, and you go and you make that change. So, in our weekly calls, this is what happens. Women come and share with me, hey, you know what, I have a meeting with my boss tomorrow, and I want to make sure that I get my point across, and it's his or her personality is this way. And the last few times I went, and they just like talked very nicely to me, and I felt unheard, even though I was talking to them. So we actually helped them with that situation, and we help them understand, so what is the purpose of that meeting, what's the outcome that you want out of it, right? And then we help them, prepare for that meeting, such that they have all the aspects, all the ammunition so to speak, um, such that they can project their voice, they are saying the things that's on their heart, and expressing it, openly and freely and authentically. And the transformation that happens in that process, the dynamics, how it changes between the boss and our client, it's just amazing to see that transformation. And then our clients see that, wow, it was easy. It was easy, when I had that conversation, and my boss said, yeah, please go ahead with that project, that's great, or yeah, your idea is amazing, or I totally see, what you're saying about, John or Paul or Lisa, or whoever, right? I see your point, and I'm gonna go have a conversation with them. It's so beautiful, when you are heard. It's so beautiful when you are visible. It's so beautiful when you are valued for who you are. And when we don't have this knowledge, we actually stay in this very, very negative, violent loop. The way we criticize ourselves, we would never say those things to others, but we beat ourselves up. We want to kick ourselves for the things that we have done or not done. It's just violent. And because we keep doing that, our brain goes into that loop, and our brain kind of starts sending us those messages that, oh yeah, you're not good enough, you're good for nothing, yeah, this is what you always do, you're never going to succeed because you're never going to have that conversation. And it sucks. It sucks to be in that place. I have been there, done that. It's horrible. It's horrible what we do to ourselves. And then, then we start, feeling our self-esteem has gone down. We have imposter syndrome and all of that, right? But it's not needed. It's not necessary at all. So, I am, I consider my program not just as a program. It's a movement. It's a revolution, it's a personal revolution where you start realizing the power that you have within yourself, the shackles that are around you because of, the cultural norms and constraints, and how to, you know, break out of it and be authentic, right? While, also um, having great family dynamics and being amazing at work and being authentic and shining your light bright. It's just amazing. And if that's what you are hungry for, and when I say you're hungry for, I really mean that. I, if you are hungry for it, not a wishful thinking, you're hungry for it, knowing that you have the potential within you, but you're just not being able to project it. You're not being able to build those relationships, build that social capital that will propel you ahead in your career, and you want to change that and be fulfilled in your career, then I invite you to speak with me. We will get on a call, and it's a complimentary call, and we will really explore, you know, if Unshackled Career Women can significantly transform your personal and professional life. And, if it's a great fit, uh, let's start working together and really transform your career. Because if you are feeling shackled, if you're feeling like you're not achieving your full potential, if you are feeling constrained, um, you are just wasting a lot of energy. It's very exhausting. It's very exhausting to go about life feeling that way. So if you want to transform that and feel that lightness, be seen, be valued, be heard, then let's talk. The link to schedule the call is www.unshackledcareerwoman.com/call, and get on this journey together, become a part of this movement, be bold, and join the community of these bold and brave women who are trailblazers in their field and are getting ahead in their career like, there's no tomorrow. They are helping women do the impossible. So go to www.unshackledcareerwoman.com/call, and let's transform your career and your life.